Disclaimer! The following episode contains spoilers for Star Wars Visions. Don't go crying to your mum if we spoil it for you. You've been warned. Welcome to Podcapers, the official podcast for a place to hang your cape. And this week, it's Star Wars, but... we're talking about Star Wars Visions! Cue the music! Hello there, Capers, and as I said, welcome to Podcapers, the official podcast for a place to hang your cape. My name's Scott James Merridew, and this is the show where we talk about various geek and nerd-related topics, and I'm joined each week by a very special different guest. He is the original otaku, it's Mark Russell.
Original otaku, really?
I don't know. I don't know the words.
Who do I? I'm an anime fan. Doesn't mean I'm an otaku.
Fair enough. What's the difference?
I don't know. It's probably like, what do you call a hardcore Star Wars fan?
Me? I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to be talking about Star Wars Visions, the best thing to come out of Star Wars for a little while now. I say that, they're building up the good stuff. You know, we had Fallen Order, we had The Mandalorian, we had The Bad Batch, and kind of fine. It's fine. We were going to do a review on that, but honestly, I just got bored of it. I don't want to do a review of something that's boring.
I liked it enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. There's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's just, I was expecting, like, okay, they're going to ramp things up. We're going to take that energy the Clone Wars had and make it into a character-driven, brilliant, galaxy-spanning drama. And it was like every B-plot filler episode of the Clone Wars, almost. Mm-hmm. And they even brought a little cute kid character along to liven things up. She was annoying sometimes.
I liked her enough.
Yeah, that can't be your answer for everything relating to the Bad Batch. What did you think of the music?
I don't remember the music, to be honest.
Yeah, me neither.
I did feel that I enjoyed the characters when it was like the Bad Batch, but I felt there should have been a bit more to explore about, how did the clones feel about killing all the Jedi, if they did figure at all. What was the development of the new Empire? How would that change things? Why did they decide to kill the clones? People who can't even shoot straight.
I mean, they do sprinkle some of those things in, but not a lot, and it's just filled with just these bunch of dudes who we don't really learn too much about, bumming around the galaxy. Like, I thought this was going to be like the Star Wars version of the A-Team, but instead it's like the Star Wars version of that one lame gap year you had where you tooled around in a van up to the Lake District with a few of your friends who you knew you wouldn't speak to once you went to university with. Anyway, but we're here to talk about something good out of Star Wars. It's always nice when we get to do that. But before we can do that, we've got to do the news! Oh my gish gash dosh dash diddly widdly wee, we've got some news for you. Oh God. I mean, Mark, tell you what, let's take a little bit of a change of pace. Do you want to tell us what our first news item is?
Well, do you want the good news or the semi-bad news?
I mean, it's interesting news no matter what. Whether it's good or bad is going to depend on people. But
yes,
you dealer's choice.
Let's go with the semi-bad news and get that out of the way first.
Which is?
They announced, we thought it may be dead on arrival, but they, out of the blue, or should I say out of the piping, they announced the cast for the animated Mario movie.
Yes, they're going ahead with it. Those mad bastards are actually trying to do it. With Illumination, of all people. You know those guys who haven't been able to do a single good Dr. Seuss movie?
And grounded minions into the ground.
Yeah, I mean, God. These... Just because their animation is technically competent doesn't mean they can do a good story. But let's talk about the cast. As Mario, well, who's the original voice actor of Mario? What's his name?
Charles Martinet, who is actually going to be in the film.
Oh, great. So he's going to be Mario.
Nope.
Why wouldn't they get the voice actor of Mario to be
Because it
Mario?
because it's Illumination. Like, they would actually ask their veteran voice actors to do it. No, they're going to hire random celebrities who have, like, one go at voice acting. Do you know who they've cast as Mario?
Who?
Star-Lord.
I like Chris Pratt. I do, and I actually think he's all right at some forms of voice acting. I say that I thought he was good in the Lego Movie and the Lego Movie 2. That's it, though. I don't see him as doing it. How the is he going to do? Like, it's a me, a Mario, or is he just going to do his own goddamn voice? I don't want to hear Chris Pratt's voice coming out of a fucking Mario. What? No. No!
Well, should we look at the rest of the cast?
Okay, so, I mean, these are good actors, I want to point out. They're just not voice actors. I mean, we could go on a whole tangent about the dearth of actual voice artists in mainstream Hollywood animation films, but we got Anna Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach. She's good. I'm sure she'll be fine. Charlie Day as Luigi.
It could work, I suppose.
Jack Black as Bowser. In fairness, he'd have a lot of fun doing that.
Mm-hmm.
He'd throw himself into that. And I'm trusting more as a voice actor than I do Chris Pratt. Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. What?
Eh?
Yes, because when I think of diminutive mushroom people, I immediately think of strapping 6-footer Keegan-Michael Key. God, we got Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong.
Why?
I don't know, and neither does he. I can only assume he was high when he accepted the role and just felt too embarrassed to back out.
Wait. Jack Black, Seth Rogen, is this a Kung Fu Panda reunion?
God, I mean, they got Kevin Michael Richardson. He was in Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, they cast an actual voice actor in the film, and everyone else is celebrities.
Yeah, Fred Armisen is Cranky Kong. Kevin Michael Richardson is someone called Kamek. I don't know who that is.
It's a wizard.
Okay, sure. And Sebastian Maniscalco as Spike. I don't know even who either of those people are. So, yeah, but that's it. And yeah. Why? Yeah, I mean, I feel bad saying this because apparently, Chris Pratt is really, really happy about it, and he's a big fan of the original game, and so I don't want to put a damper down on him, but at the same time, Hollywood is not your fantasy playground dream machine, Chris. We want people who are appropriate for the roles, and so if they got the original voice actor Mario, who's he gonna fucking play?
Says surprise cameo, so my money is that he's probably going to cameo as Wario. Or Waluigi.
Wah! God. I mean, this isn't like Sonic where they cast fucking
Ben Schwartz.
Ben Schwartz. I nearly called him John Ralphio for a second there. Ben Schwartz, because he's got the kind of voice that's appropriate for Sonic. He's got the sort of youthful, edgy, gotta go faster, like that sort of thing. That's fine. I can live with that. As well as that fact that movie was, I guess, supposed to be kind of grounded. But what are they going to do with this movie? Are they going to make it similarly grounded? Or is it just going to be fun, wacky times in the Mushroom Kingdom? Because if so, don't see this working.
No, I mean, you could do like standard Peach gets kidnapped by Bowser for some reason plot, but is that really acceptable these days? Since everything has to be measured?
Well, it's not even that. It's just the case of we've seen that story so many times. And what variation can they put of it? Especially considering the fact that already Nintendo have put them in a very bad position because there's just so many Mario stories out there. There's like 10 different Paper Marios, let alone regular Mario. Dear God. And they keep on re-releasing some of the old shit. So, like, what is something new they could do? Say what you like about the Sonic movie. They tried doing something, well, not actually new, because Sonic X had Sonic coming into the real world. So,
I know.
yeah.
I know. Let's take them to an alternate world where the dinosaurs didn't die. And they can all get drunk.
Mark, go to the corner. Go to the corner. You know the rule. We don't mention that thing. We don't do it.
We're sorry, Mr. Meridew.
Damn right you be. 100 lines by the end of the day. I will not mention that abomination. You know which one. In chalk. Yeah, better not get dusty knees, boy.
Oh dear.
Oh god. So yeah, that's one bit of news. Then there's the other news, which is good, but in my opinion, pathetic.
Okay then.
It's been announced because we mentioned this before on the show. Or at least I did that. Chris Chibnall was going to be leaving showrunner duties as Doctor Who, and then we're getting a new showrunner in. We speculated. I mentioned J. Michael Straczynski wanted to take over showrunner roles, and so it's been announced who the new showrunner is.
Who is
I'll
it?
admit I didn't see this coming, but in fairness, I didn't see the point in this. Well, I do see the point in this, but it's Russell T Davies.
He sounds familiar.
The guy who reinvented, reimagined, and brought back and revitalized Doctor Who is brought back. They must be fucking desperate. He's been brought in to fix things again. We had no Doctor Who for so long. He was brought in as just like, I have a dream where we bring back Doctor Who, and it's fun and awesome and just a little bit sexy. And now he's brought back as they're just panicking. The critical and fan reaction to the recent Doctor Who has been so negative, I think, and I sort of blame myself a little bit for that. You're very welcome. That I guess they're just so scared of bringing anyone on with a new vision, with creative ideas, so they just bring back Russell T Davies. And here's the thing. This is not a negative mark against Russell T Davies, because he's very good at what he does. He's an excellent showrunner, excellent writer. He's done other things since Doctor Who, which are all good. So, things before Doctor Who that were also good. Did he also do that, like, Randall and Hopkirk Deceased remake, which also had David Tennant in it? Am I getting that right? Am I getting that right? I don't know.
I don't know.
That was weird. But and that's clearly why they're bringing it back for desperation. Now, here's the thing: this is going to work.
Probably,
yeah. I mean, there's no guarantees, obviously, and that's sort of a low-key fear of mine that they'll bring it back and it'll actually still be crap. Which means the problem isn't with the showrunners or the writing. The problem is with Doctor Who itself, which I'm terrified of. But honestly, there's no safer bet than Russell T Davies. And that's part of the problem. When he left, we brought in Stephen Moffat, who was not as well received, though I would argue that he was okay in places. It was a different style, and I do not agree with a lot of decisions he made, but looking back in hindsight, we were probably too hard on him. Then Chris Chibnall came in, who was honestly the worst choice they could have made. Because people are going to think now that Chris Chibnall is a bad writer, and he's not. He's not even a bad showrunner. He's just shouldn't be allowed near anything like Doctor Who. Sticking with things like Broadchurch, Line of Duty, all that sort of stuff. The down-to-earth, gritty British crime dramas. He's very good at that. Let him do that. Just because people really like Broadchurch and that happened to have David Tennant and Olivia Colman in it does not mean that he's good at writing Doctor Who. But here's the thing, there are so many other bright, fresh-faced newcomers or even, industry professional showrunners or writers who could take over the role instead of Russell T Davies, and they could be great. Give it a little bit more freedom. Seek out people who are real creative visionaries who understand what works with Doctor Who and what doesn't, and let them take over. And instead, they just said, "Okay, God, let's just panic and get back the guy who we know is good." And that's basically it. And I'm glad that he's back, because it means we're going to get more great Doctor Who, and I'm looking forward to whatever he cooks up. And Davies himself is really excited to be coming back. He's famously a huge Doctor Who fan, so, but then so was Stephen Moffat. Look where that got us. But, so, I mean, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I found out while I was at work, so I had to kind of slip away downstairs and have a private cheer to myself. Like, it's saved! It's gonna be good again! We can hope! And then you kind of think about it, it's like, okay, but they're doing this out of desperation in order to save their viewership. I mean, like you said, Russell T Davies is a wonderful, wonderful storyteller. He's a great screenwriter. He's a great director. He saved Doctor Who after it was dead for 16 years. And now he is returning at a time when it's most needed. But are they doing it simply out of desperation? Because the past, not to be rude to any of the actors at all involved,
except for Tosin Cole.
But yeah, whatever. But
he's not good.
We know you hate everybody.
I'm tired of pretending like I don't hate his acting in that show.
Okay,
I know he's gone now, but Jesus.
Yes, we know. But the problem is the past 3 or 4 years have been terrible in terms of quality storytelling. Yeah. And if they want to save the show before it dies again, they have to bring in the big guns, so to speak.
Yeah. And he is the biggest gun. And I mean, we'll see how it goes. I have relatively high hopes, but that's because he's already been established. Here's the thing. People already had kind of, I imagine. Here's the thing, though. Like I say, Doctor Who was off the air for 16 years. One of the longest-running sci-fi British shows ever was off the air for 16 years. I mean, I was born at a time before Doctor Who, as were you, Mark. So, I mean, I didn't grow up into Doctor Who. I was vaguely aware of a blue box and a yellow car and a man with weird hair and a big long scarf, and that was it. I knew nothing. And then, 12 years old, I start watching Doctor Who, and it opened my eyes. And so I had no expectations going in. I imagine lots of other people did. But now I do have the expectations. And Russell T Davies kind of has to deliver, because otherwise I'm worried Doctor Who may be off the air for even longer. And I really hope that doesn't happen.
We'll be old men. Remember Doctor Who?
Remember back in my day, there was a man in a big blue box, he was.
What's he doing in there? I don't know. He was playing with a sonic screwdriver.
What's a sonic screwdriver, grandfather? Well, young fellow, me lad, it was something that did anything to anything except wood.
And the new Doctor has to be ginger. They have to do that at last.
I don't care what ethnicity they are, as long as they're ginger. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about the recent seasons and that. I've already made my thoughts clear on the fact that the First Doctor is now no longer the First Doctor. What were you thinking? We have to move on to our final news announcement: the recent trailer for the upcoming Muppets Haunted Mansion. In this special, it's not like full-length movie, is it? I don't know.
It's a special.
It was, I don't know. Gonzo and Pepe are invited to Disney's Haunted Mansion. Like, it's not a Haunted Mansion, it's the Haunted Mansion, clearly. And I know this because I recognize bits from the god-awful Eddie Murphy movie.
Yeah. As a big fan of the Haunted Mansion, despite never actually been on it because I've been to Disneyland because I can't go yet, I am looking very much forward to this.
I'm less looking forward to it because, I mean, it's fine, but it's just like some Disney executives just like, oh, cross synergy, oh, Muppets make relevant rides, Jungle Cruise, and I can see it on the wall. That doesn't mean it won't be fun, although let's be honest, Kermit's voice actor is distracting right now. I don't think we've actually talked on the show what happened with Stephen Whitmire, but
got fired.
We can't even go into it. The saga is probably a bit too long. It's so annoying because you probably can't see Mark because it's quite bright over here and the bloom is quite great. But I got a Labyrinth poster over the back there.
I can see it blurred.
Yeah, and Steve Whitmire's name on it. And every morning I wake up, see that Labyrinth poster, and I'm just like, oh yeah. It's like, I like Labyrinth, but then I remember what they did to him. I mean, are people on his side or other people's side?
I don't know. You know.
Who cares? And that's basically what's going on. I mean, there's a huge cast of cameos. We've got Ed Asner, the late great Ed Asner, Will Arnett, Darren Criss, Justina Machado, Chrissy Metz, Craig Robertson, John Stamos, Yvette Nicole Brown, Danny Trejo. It keeps on being in Muppets movies. I love that he
Yay.
loves the Muppets.
Yay!
And many, many more. So I'll probably watch it when Halloween comes out, assuming we aren't beset by monsters again this year.
There's Jehovah's Witnesses.
I was thinking more like, the stuff we usually face on Halloween, but that would be equally scary.
Oh, like that's gonna happen again.
Yeah. Anyway, but if I get a chance, I guess I'll watch it just cause. Gotta make that Disney Plus subscription work for me somehow. Speaking of, that's the same place where you can find Star Wars Visions. But before we can start talking about it properly, here are some ads. Check them out.
And now we're pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
God, this series is awesome! God, this series is awesome! God, this series is awesome!
Say that one more time.
God, this series is awesome!
Yeah,
oh, God,
right.
it's so fucking cool! And honestly, was there really any doubt?
Nope, not really.
No, I mean, I thought this was going to be a full-length anthology movie. It turns out to be a series, but I'm fine with that because you know what you get to. It makes for a very leisurely viewing. You can just take each one at your own pace. They're quite short, so they're not a huge time sink. You can breeze through them pretty quickly, though, if you do want to binge it. So, yeah, it's pretty goddamn great. What was the inception of all this?
I assume. Look, Star Wars, anime. We can make good things. Yay! Let's do it.
Because, I mean, there was a Star Wars anthology film being sort of floated around for quite a while, ever since the takeover, right?
Yeah, but that went out the window. Very old project.
Yeah, I mean, because people are sick of Star Wars movies. No, you're just shit at your jobs.
Well, I suppose it's the third anthology that's been done. First there was the Animatrix, then there was the Batman Gotham Knight, and now there is Star Wars Visions. And
are those only the only anime anthology films you can think of?
Well, of a fusion of known Western stuff and anime, if you know what I mean.
I suppose there's probably other examples, but
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if there weren't. But
I cannot think.
It's. But this was sort of officially announced late last year.
Yes, when Disney said, we're going to release all this stuff!
And then we got, a little later on, instead of a trailer, we got like a full, in-depth, behind-the-scenes look at all the different studios. And this was the great thing. They went to lots of different anime studios and said, hey, want to do something Star Wars? And the response apparently they got from all the studios was, yes, please. Yes, please.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Which is encouraging, It shows just how much of an influence Star Wars has. I mean, we could go on and on about the roots that Star Wars has in Japanese cinema.
It's come full circle.
Yeah, absolutely. This makes a lot of sense. And there have been hints. I've seen tons of Japanese anime-inspired Star Wars fan art, as I'm sure you have. So this is something that does make complete sense because it ties into not just Japanese, but also Chinese mythology and philosophies. The Force is very much influenced by the Tao from Taoism. It's something that's very firmly rooted in that, which makes a great avenue for all sorts of different kinds of storytelling. And that's what they did here for the most part. To be honest, the stories that we're about to talk about are all great. But I was expecting a wider variety, and I did not get that, okay?
Choke on a slice of shut-up cake, you unfathomable swamp crab!
Shut up, I'm right, okay? I know it's that sucks to say, but it's true. A lot of them are very Force-centric, very Jedi-focused, and it's a big, wide Star Wars galaxy. And granted, the Jedi and the Force are the nucleus that surrounds the Star Wars universe, but I was hoping for a couple of really, something a little bit different, and that's not well, we got that. There is a huge variety in art styles and methods of storytelling and themes and tone, and there's a lot of variety here. It doesn't really escape the Jedi sort of thing. And in fairness,
I guess you wanted to have a lightsaber fight.
Yeah, imagine every single lightsaber wielder in the show battle royale. Who would win? My money's on the rabbit girl.
My money's on the umbrella lady.
Oh god. Oh, the umbrella lady.
Oh my god, he's so goddamn cool!
Jesus. Yeah, so there's a lot to talk about here. I mean, let me pitch you, Mark. Let me pitch you one story that I want to see that we didn't really get. Well, first of all, I want to make it clear. I was wondering if they're going to do this, and I'm kind of glad they didn't for the most part. There are no already established Star Wars characters in this show.
Apart from Boba Fett and Jabba the Hutt.
Oh. There are almost no already established... Like, I was expecting to see Luke or Vader or any one of those guys, and we don't get them. We don't get any main characters. Because Boba Fett is not a main character. Shut it, you know I'm right. And I'm kind of glad of that because it gives them the chance to explore their own characters. I mean, I say explore, these are short films. They're very short films. There's not a ton of character development. There's not a ton of world building or story development. They're vignettes, slices of stories from a much larger galaxy. And that works. It works very well. But here's one story that I wanted to see. I'm just going to pitch you on this, Mark, right now. See what you think. I think I may have mentioned this before, but I just want to see what you think of it. So, right after during A New Hope, all the Jawas are killed that previously had the two robots, R2-D2 and C-3PO, correct?
Correct.
Jawa Stormtroopers. In my mind, two Jawas escape and go on the run out into the Tatooine wilderness. One's like really bold and adventurous, one's a bit more timid and uncertain, and they have cute little adventures in the desert.
I like it.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. And it's pretty much silent for the most part because it's just like OTD. I don't. I can't do Jawas. It kills me. God. Oh God, I'm dying.
JK, not dead, lol.
Yeah, and I just don't imagine something like that. Something cute, and I guess because a couple of things like slightly similar to that. But I wanted something like that, and I didn't really get it. But you know what? I can still be disappointed and have a good time. That is possible, and I had a really good time with this show. I don't even like saying disappointed because that implies it's a disappointing show, and it really isn't.
No, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's really good as well. There is so much to talk about, frankly.
No Jawas, though.
No Jawas. I think I actually do see some in the background.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I probably should have watched it more than once, but it's like,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's better with... You probably could with these things. That's the great thing about them. And they're great to show to kids as well. That's what I also like about them. There's most of them are good to show for kids. Others, they might find a little bit scary. It depends on your kid, I guess. But they're all really cool. So let's start with episode 1. Now, before we go into episode 1, actually, we need to talk about the fact that for my sins... I've only seen the dubbed versions.
Oh, that's okay. I watched the sub versions.
Really? Okay, because my rule is live action subbed, animation dubbed. That's just my preference. So you watch the Japanese version, I watch the English version.
Well, in typical Disney style, they had the Japanese, but the English subtitles were for the dub.
Yeah. God.
There's
the subtitle options on Disney Plus. So, did you maybe have the wrong version of the subtitles?
No, it was literally just English subs, and it was like the dub is like the older languages in Japanese. Then the English subs are just like English. That's it.
Okay, so you checked just to make sure, but you watched it all in Japanese.
Yeah, so it's because the subtitles timing is with the English dialogue, of the dub, there are certain points in the Japanese there's no subtitles. Like, what are they saying? And the subtitles pops like, oh, that's what they're saying.
Jesus, if you're going to do this, if you're going to go to the effort of having a Japanese, I say Japanese dub, really it's kind of the main version.
Yeah, it was done Japanese first, so...
Done Japanese first. If you're going to do that, get the fucking subtitles right. This is just another example of Disney just ever so slightly not fucking getting it. I mean, I could talk at length about how Disney fucking screwed the pooch, not just with the movies, but with the video games especially.
Oh, God, they're giving it to EA.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. Their excuse was, oh, we don't understand video games.
Hello?
Oh. First of all, Disney have not been shy about making video games in the past. 2, you had a studio that understood video games, that was making video games since the goddamn 1980s, LucasArts. 3, if you don't understand video games, an industry whose profit margins eclipses the film industries, you are fucking incompetent. And you don't have to be incompetent to do one Google search on EA and discover that they were voted the worst company to work for in America multiple years running.
Oh, and 4/5, Kingdom Hearts!
Yeah! Jesus, ask them for fucking... I mean, I don't really trust Square Enix with a lot of Disney properties, looking at you, Marvel, but...
I mean, I've literally got a book behind me somewhere, which is about how Kingdom Hearts was developed by Disney and Square Enix, and it says in there that they didn't want to put Mickey Mouse in it because somehow they would tarnish his reputation, and they turned him into fucking Yoda!
It's... Yeah, That's the thing. Disney are just... I've always said it, they're one step behind. I don't know how they're the most successful entertainment conglomerate in the universe right now when they are so goddamn incompetent. Like Stephen Whitmire, like the movies and Kathleen Kennedy, who, by the way, another bit of news trivia, was lambasted by Marsha... was her name Marsha Lucas?
I don't know.
I forgot. I'm terribly sorry. I've forgotten her first name. That's... Yeah, Marsha Lucas. She's an award-winning, Oscar-winning film editor, previous wife of George Lucas, and she has just as much as hand in Star Wars as anyone else. And she is not a fan of Kathleen Kennedy's work. I mean, she doesn't hate her personally, but she openly criticized her recently, and good on you, Marsha. Damn right. And it just shows how painful sometimes it is. Because I'm not going to pretend like Lucasfilm did everything right previously, but at least they knew what they were doing. They made mistakes, but they understood they made mistakes and at least tried to correct it, or at least understood the problem. And they made just make amateurish mistakes. Little things like this is indicative of Disney's... Because, like, Disney did not come up with the idea. I bet you anything for a Star Wars anime anthology series. There was someone, well, it probably was someone at Disney, but a creative, I'm being very pretentious right now, but it probably was a creative individual who said, people like anime, people like Star Wars, let's combine them because this is something I would like to see. And they probably ran with that because, like, well, everyone hates what we're doing right now, so sure, why not? I don't know who had the original idea for it. This is the thing. Like, this was produced by a bunch of different people, but all the stories, all the individual films are very much directed and animated and made by different people. So there's no one singular showrunner as far as I'm aware on this show. I imagine they were just given a criteria, like list of do's and do nots, and then they just said, have at it, and have at it they did. But then Disney swans in with the fucking subtitles, just not ruining it, but just reminding us that they don't know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
That was a very long rant for something related to subtitles. Oh god, I'm like one of those weeaboos on the message boards! Oh no!
I suppose we should mention that these shorts are not technically canon.
Well, this is what I was wondering. Are they canon or are they not? I suspected they weren't. They are set in various different time periods in the Star Wars universe, in various different locales. But I expected they were canon. And honestly, as much as I kind of like them to be canon, you know what? It probably gives them more freedom. It's probably better creatively if they're not canon.
Yes, because you know what happens when they bring up canon in front of a Star Wars fan?
I get angry.
And they go insane.
This sounds in my head. Yeah, it's oh god, it's a problem for me. We've waffled on long enough. Let's talk about the first episode, The Duel, which is incredibly fucking popular.
Yay!
Everyone is fucking talking about this. They said they wanted it to be a much longer movie or series. I'm going to take a bold stance and say that that's a bad idea.
Probably.
And we'll get into why later on. Though I will say they are going to release a book, a novel based on it called Star Wars Ronin, a Visions novel, which is a fucking wordy title. That's a mouthful. But yeah, so this is set sometime after the fall of the First Order. Thank you for reminding me that those guys exist. And it's a really, really cool. So I'm going to be relying on you for comparisons to anime art styles and other anime series or movies.
Okay, but I'm no expert.
I know you're not an expert, but I am nevertheless going to make you an expert. And if you fail me, I'm not going to be happy.
Oh, more chalk things to do then.
Exactly. Let's talk about the cast. So we've got the Ronin, the bandit leader, and the village chief. And there's probably more characters in there that have voice roles, but we're just going to talk about some of the main ones. So in Japanese, the Ronin is voiced by
Masaki Terasoma.
Thank you. The bandit leader is voiced by
I'm not very good at Japanese names. Akane Watanabe.
And the village chief is voiced by
Yuko Sanpai.
And in English, the Ronin is voiced by Brian T.
Yay.
of various crappy movies and one good television show, Chicago Med fame.
Dr. Choi, sorry.
Dr. Choi. I like him in that show because he in all the movies I've ever seen him in, he's like really grim and gritty and not any fun whatsoever. And in that show, he's also grim gritty, but he's human. So I don't know. I've not watched that show in ages. I dropped out of watching the Chicago franchise when I realized there are only so many hours in the day.
I do like the cop show. I think the guy on there's a jerk.
Yeah, I don't like the cop show either. I like Med and I like Fire.
Yeah.
It seemed like the nicer ones. But anyway, what about Chicago Justice? No one cares, Dick Wolf. No one cares. The bandit leader is voiced by Lucy Liu. That's fucking awesome. And the village chief is voiced by Jaden Waldman. So let's go into the story proper. So it's in black and white, which is fucking awesome. Really harkens back to, Yojimbo and all those classic samurai movies. So there's this lone wanderer known only as Ronin.
Ooh.
I don't know why he's called Ronin, because Ronin is like a masterless samurai, which is part of Earth culture, like Japanese culture, and this is set in Star Wars, so why would they call him Ronin, unless it's just like his name, it's just like a space name. Hello, I'm Mr. Ronin. I don't know. But they clearly refer to it as a title. It's weird. But let's remember, non-canon. There are no rules. And he's in a village that's beset by bandits. Oh no, former stormtroopers with like mismatched armors from across the various eras. That's really cool.
I do quite like the design aesthetic. It's all got a very... you kind of notice it straight off the bat, but they're using authentic Japanese style, their clothes and the architecture. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, and there's no reason why they can't. Galaxy's a big place, and like I said, non-canon. Why not? I mean, if we can have like manga versions of Spider-Man and things like that, we can have anime versions of Star Wars. And they're harassing a bunch of villagers who then start to fight back, and the Ronin sort of wades in after they get beaten back by Lucy Liu's character, who's a Sith with a fucking lightsaber umbrella. Now that sounds stupid. That sounds incredibly stupid. It's not.
It spins. It's awesome.
Yeah, it fucking spins. She doesn't use it a lot. She discards it for a normal lightsaber. And I was like, no, fucking use your fucking parasol lightsaber. How does that thing even work?
It's probably got like a gyro or something. It's like...
It's just Kylo Ren off in the distance looking at his crossguard lightsaber like... Oh...
He'll swap out for a whisk and come after him with a whisk lightsaber.
Beware me! I have the lightsaber spatula! Anyway, and so they have a fight. We're going to keep these descriptions of the episodes fairly brief, just because there's not a lot to talk about in terms of the actual plot, because these are short films, and especially when it's intentional on the part of the writers that the story is brief. It's mainly a visual story, not a prose story, as it were. There's not a ton of dialogue, and there's not a lot of character development, like we said. It's purely visual, which is hard to talk about on a podcast. But you know what? It's still really cool because the visuals are just exquisite.
Yes, like I said earlier, the circle is now complete because the films are paying homage to Akira Kurosawa films, which was inspiration for George Lucas.
Yeah, I mean, didn't he base like the structure of the first movie on Hidden Fortress?
I think it was something along those lines, possibly Seven Samurai, that sort of thing.
Like story structure, various plot beats. Yeah, that's basically what he did, and that fucking works, and it works here. It's a classic duel. They're on a log going across a waterfall. It's
and the ending's
it's over, crazy umbrella lady. I have the high ground.
Except it's very wet. Woo! Oh,
just Anakin and Obi-Wan looking at them like, "Jeez, we could have battled in a much nicer place. Why did we battle on lava?"
Oh, and the amazing reveal of his lightsaber and how he defeats her.
He has a red lightsaber, but he defends all the villagers. And then when he defeats crazy umbrella lightsaber Lucy Liu lady, he takes her lightsaber, smashes it, and takes out the red crystal and puts it in his robe that has a bunch of other different red lightsaber crystals. And he walks off. This is why I don't like the idea of expanding on this story, because this is a complete mystery, and I want it to remain like that. Now, ambiguity in storytelling is a bit of a contentious plot thing for me, because when it's done well, I really like it. When it's done anything less than really well, I hate it, because that often amounts to me like people just basically saying, "Well, what do you think it means?" And I'm like, motherfucker, I paid money so that you could tell me a story, tell me a complete story. But when it's something like this, where it's ambiguous, yes, but that's part of the charm, and it's woven in naturally, and it plays with your expectations. I really like that. And I don't want them to tell me what this means.
Yeah, I mean, I admit, going through these episodes, like, but I want to know more. What happens after that? But I think you kind of hit it on the head. There's intrigue there that doesn't necessarily have to be explained to the audience.
Yeah, that's part of what makes it such a good story. Because, I mean, the best case scenario, you get an answer. And honestly, that's when you get Snoke. Remember how everyone was like, "Oh, who's Snoke? Who's Snoke?" And admittedly, that's more of the fans' problem than the storytellers of those movies, because they weren't trying to make it a great mystery. He was just a mysterious guy. But then everyone started speculating, as fans are wont to do, and it kind of ran out of control. And then it turned out, he was a failed clone of Palpatine or some shit. And it was really disappointing. Yeah, and I don't think there was any explanation they could have given that would have been interesting.
I saw some Darth Plagueis ideas. Oh, that's an interesting idea.
First of all, he was a moon. He was an alien, so he doesn't really look like that. And B, Darth Plagueis. Okay, that might have been kind of cool for us, the audience, but in the most mainstream Star Wars stuff, we don't familiar with the character. We only know about him from a description given by another character. B, no one who confronted him would know who the fuck he is. Like, they wouldn't even know, like, his apprentice who became Palpatine. So it would be big for us, but it wouldn't be big for the characters. And it could have worked if it was like, "Oh, I was the puppet master all along." But that would just be a bit retroactive. It wouldn't be something that was planned from the beginning, and that would come across. It would come across as yet another retroactive rewrite, like the entirety of Rise of Skywalker, and it just wouldn't have worked, in my opinion. But then again, I don't think there is an explanation that could have worked. So, I would have settled for them just making him an interesting character rather than Space Hugh Hefner.
In a bathrobe.
No, that's what I mean. And yeah, so the Ronin goes off to fight another day with his red lightsaber, and it's a really fucking strong beginning. It's followed up with Tatooine Rhapsody. Bunch of characters in this. Oh, I fucking love this one. This is the characters of Jay, a former Jedi Padawan rather, who joins a fucking band.
A rock band in Star Wars. Like, what?
Which I really fucking like. This is when I'm talking about variety, this is what I wanted to see more of. This is probably one of the most unique ones in the whole lineup. We've also got a Hutt named Geezer, Boba Fett, as you mentioned previously, a droid named K344, and a three-bodied Devorian named Lan. Jay in the Japanese dub is voiced by
Hiroyuki Yoshino.
Geezer is voiced by
Kosuke Goto.
Boba Fett is voiced by
Akio Kanade.
Canada, I think it's called.
Canada, sorry.
Yeah. And K344 is voiced by
Masayo Fujita.
And Lan is voiced by
Henri Katsu.
I did not recognize half of these people at first, though. Jay in the English dub is voiced by Joseph motherfucking Gordon-Levitt.
Yay!
Geezer is voiced by Bobby Moynihan.
Whoa.
Tamura Morrison voices Boba Fett, which I didn't recognize. Shelby Young, who I'm not very familiar with, if I'm being honest, voices K344. And Mark Thompson, who I am more familiar with because he does the voice work for the audio version of the Thrawn trilogy.
Ah, okay.
And he's really good. His Admiral Thrawn is sexy. I'm not even lying.
Oh my god, he's so goddamn cool!
I'll be using that voice clip a lot this episode. So, Tatooine Rhapsody starts with a young Jedi Padawan running from presumably Order 66 sometime during the Clone Wars, and he jumps off of something and lands, I guess, in a vehicle of some sort, and is confronted by Geezer, a Hutt with
a wig,
these little sunglasses things. What's this art style most familiar with? Because it puts me on. Is it Gurren Lagann?
I believe it was done by Studio Colorado. I just looked them up, but it is.
Yeah, we should mention actually. So the previous one was animated by Kamikaze Duga, and this one is by Studio Colorado. I don't know anything about any of these studios, so I can't really give any further details about them.
Now, I would assume the animation style of the character drawings remind me of Gurren Lagann.
Okay, so I didn't even know how you pronounce it. They've also done a bunch of Pokemon things on the internet, and it's very indicative of that. And so Jay joins their band, their rock band, Star Waver. We then cut to them performing a band into a mildly amused crowd. And I don't know if it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt singing. I suppose it probably is. He's fucking excellent.
Yeah, well, I don't know because I didn't watch the dub.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Well, I can promise you he's fucking excellent. Was the Japanese voice actor good?
I think so. I don't, because sometimes you kind of recognize the voices in Japan, but you kind of don't really know the names. So it's like, oh, it's that guy from that thing. So
yeah. So I'm on the same, but with the English voice actors.
Yeah.
But they're performing, and suddenly Boba Fett turned up, but he's not a music lover. Apparently, there's a bounty on Gee's head, and I guess he's related to Jabba the Hutt, and he wants to execute Gee because is it Gee or Geezer?
It's Geezer. Probably wants to arrest him for wearing that hideous wig. Assuming it's a wig.
He's Giza, but he's often called Guy by his friends.
Yeah.
And basically, Jabba the Hutt wants him to be part of his family's crime syndicate. He doesn't want to. He wants to join a rock band, which made me to think at first, like, is this Jabba the Hutt's son from the god-awful Clone Wars movie?
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't, but he wants to be executed for that. Apparently, that's something that that's what they do. And he's captured and held there. And Jay is just like, "Hey, can we just like play one more song here at Mos Espa?" Yeah, so that's another thing. They go to Mos Espa. That's pretty cool. I like how they use that for more than just pod racing. And before he's executed, can we just play one song with them? And Jabba the Hutt, I guess, is a music lover. So he says, sure. And they rock. It's a fucking awesome climax. And the crowd is just like, one more song. And they're clearly established as a rock band. And I guess they don't get executed because, well, they start pointing their blasters at them, and then they fire into the air, and it's just like, okay, we're not going to execute you. Even Jabba the Hutt wiggles his tail a little bit.
Yeah, it was cool.
And
oh, his lightsaber is a microphone.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, how's that work?
He turns it on, and I was like, don't put that in your face! But no, he's...
Does that mean that my microphone is a lightsaber?
Well, if you really want it to be...
Work! Why won't you work? Where's the button? It doesn't work. You will fail me.
Zoom! Oh no, Mark's been killed.
Well, that was grim.
Anyway, and Jabba comes back for a sponsor. They don't get executed, and it's fucking awesome. It's a lovely, sweet, cool little story about an intergalactic rock band, which I'd like to see more of.
Yeah, do forgive me. I now realize who his voice actor is Hiroyuki Yoshino, who's been doing voice acting for about 25 years now, and he's been in everything. He's been in Bleach, he's been in Kill la Kill. You find him, and he will pop up somewhere. It's like, oh, it's that guy!
Speaking of Kill la Kill...
Oh, goody. Yes!
I have watched a little bit of Kill la Kill, about as much as I could stomach, and this leads us to The Twins by Studio Trigger. Did they do Kill la Kill?
They did Kill la Kill, because a majority of their group also did Gurren Lagann, and before that, they did Neon Genesis Evangelion. So it's kind of like, let's go from one epic anime to another. And then they're doing Star Wars. So they are the masters of sci-fi.
And Twins, it focuses around these two twins, Kari and Am. Kari is voiced by...
Give me a second, I need to get about the cast list. Junya Anoki.
Am is voiced by...
Ryoko Ryoko Shiraishi. I probably pronounced that wrong, sorry.
And there's also a droid in there voiced by...
Tokiyoshi Kawashima.
And Kari, in the meanwhile, is voiced by none other than Neil Patrick Harris.
He did Spider-Man, didn't he?
Yes. Well, he's done other voice work, but yeah, he was in what I think is... It's my personal favourite Spider-Man series. I acknowledge that Spectacular Spider-Man is technically better, and I do love that. It's a close second for me. But my personal favourite is Neil Patrick Harris's version. And Am is voiced by Alison Brie.
Okay, then.
And the droid is voiced by John Lepau. But yeah, I didn't recognize their voices at first. I had to look them up, and it's like, oh yeah, and they're really good. See, fucking Mario movie, this is what happens when you hire actors that actually know how to do voice work. I shouldn't be distracted by thinking like, oh, Chris Pratt's voice is coming out of Mario. I should just be hearing Mario's voice. Anyway, and so they're part of an initiative to have two merged together Star Destroyers that have a laser that can destroy planets using two crystals, the kyber crystals, I guess, that are channeled through two super suits they have. It's ridiculous, but it's anime Star Wars, so what are you expecting? And they're going to use it to blow up planets, and then one of the twins, Kari, Both of them have been, by the way, I guess, bioengineered through the Force to be like the ultimate tools of the dark side. But he's like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that, and tries to run away with his droid. And his sister is like,
He gonna get it!
she's not happy at all. And so they chase after her, and she's just like, "Oi, are you going to go to join the Republic?" And he's like, "I don't care about the Republic. I don't care about the Empire. I just want to be left the fuck alone." And they have a fight outside in space without spacesuits, with lightsabers. It's fucking balls to the wall ridiculous, and I loved every single second of it.
Oh my god, he's so goddamn cool!
It's like she uses the fucking lightsabers as whips. They just she has 12 of them in 2 hands. I don't know what's going on. It's just ridiculous balls to the wall insanity from start to finish. Well, I say the fight from start to finish. Before that, it's a little bit subdued, but then it starts to go real off the wall. And he fucking carves a Star Destroyer in half by standing on an X-Wing. I don't know where that X-Wing fucking came from. And using his lightsaber. Just that's it.
And then they do the holder maneuver.
Yeah. Well,
I
not the
blast
holder
it off.
maneuver, but the same sort of visual that he used for the holder maneuver. Yeah, and then his twin tries to use the Kyber crystal. That starts corrupting her. There's a whole bunch of force predictions that he has for that, with her in some sort of shared force vision subspace thing. It's really hard to talk about, but it looks cool, so who cares?
Yeah.
And then it ends with him crashing on the planet. He's just like, I'm going to go out and find my sister because we're twins. Just try to kill you, dude. That's kind of weird, but okay. Who cares? It was fucking awesome.
Yeah. I mean, his motivation is to save her from being destroyed by the Kyber crystal. I mean, he doesn't give a shit about the Sith or the rebellion or that nonsense. He just wants to keep his sister from dying. And she is completely the opposite. She's devoted to it's to the Sith, isn't it? She's like, I will die for the glory of the Sith. If it kills me, I will use this power to bring balance to the Force.
Alison Brie does not hold back. It's really cool. There's not much more we can talk about that one, so we're going to move on to the next one right after some ads. Check them out. And we're back. Okay, so the next episode is The Village Bride. We've got a bunch of people here. Let's just forget the character names and just say who's in it. So on the Japanese cast, we have
Asami Seto, Megumi Han, Yumi Uchida, Takaya Kamikawa, Yoshimitsu Shimayama, and Maria Ise.
And in the English cast, we have Karen Fukuhara, Nicole Sakura, Christopher Sean, Kerry Hiroyuki Tagawa, Andrew Kishino, and Stephanie Shea.
Yay!
Now, I'm not familiar with most of these people except for Karen Fukuhara.
Stephanie Shea is another long-time anime voice actor. She was in Naruto. She was in Bleach. She's actually one of the. I believe she was actually in charge of a lot of the casting and voice recording for the series.
Ah, okay. Well, so that's probably a good idea. She knows what's going on. I am familiar with Kerry Hiroyuki Tagawa because he's been in just a ton of stuff.
Andrew Kishino was Saw Gerrera in the Clone Wars.
Oh, he's very good.
I mean, if you go for the cast list and kind of look at their list, a lot of them have done Star Wars stuff before.
Which is probably good because they get what's needed. But this episode is called The Village Bride. It's by Kinema Citrus. That's cool. This episode starts off kind of slow and doesn't really utilize its runtime very well, in my opinion. It's got an interesting story and interesting characters, but it's kind of like the Ronin if it wasn't well paced.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the jigsaw pieces don't quite fit together. I understand the story they were trying to tell, but I think if they maybe altered it a little bit more, it might have worked a bit better.
Yeah. So this Jedi named F because
Yeah.
that's a name people can have,
It's related
is
to
drawn to a
L.
planet which has like very strong in the Force, but there's like a magic they call what do they fucking call it?
And it doesn't say in the description. How lovely.
Yeah. No, I can't remember. It's something, and basically, there's this whole thing about two people getting married, and because one of them, the bride, is going to be taken hostage by a bunch of bandits from the Empire or something or other, who need collateral, and some of the villagers want to fight, and some are just like, oh, it's so sad. They're getting married because they want to be married before she leaves.
Aw.
And then the Empire bandit people show up, but then F Funny intervenes and Valko intervenes, and they kill them, and then they just leave. And it's kind of like, okay, that was really nicely animated and had lots of like really good visuals, but what was the fucking point?
It's like, why did it happen? What's going on? I would like to know a bit more about F's story. Does she just wear the mask because she's got a slight scar on her face?
Yeah, but turns out no, she doesn't have a scar on her face. She got this whole mask going on. No, she doesn't. And then Valko has this whole helmet thing that comes up and down off his face. This big bucket thing. And then at one point he just takes the bucket off, just throws it at someone.
Oh yeah, he throws it and it rockets up into the ship and blows it up.
Oh yeah. It's
and she has high heeled shoes, doesn't she? And she aren't they like jet boot high heel shoes?
I don't get it. I don't understand it, but yeah,
Star Wars.
it's not even that. It's just it's fine, but if I had to pick one that you could skip, this would probably be the one, just because it's just a little bit too similar to Ronin. Like, I get that this is a callback to classic storytelling. Oh, there's a village being beset by bandits. This is not unique to this show or anything. It's just, we've already seen it in this show, so we don't really need to see it again. Moving on then to The Ninth Jedi by Production IG. So, some of the Japanese voice actors are
Shiratsu Akasaki, Tetsuo Kanao, Shinichiro Miki, Hiromu Mineta, Kazuya Nakai, Akio Otsuka, and Daisuke Hirokawa.
Yes, and on the English dub, we've got Kimiko Glenn, best known for her work on Orange is the New Black, Andrew Kishino again, Simu Liu, fresh from Shang-Chi, he's in this too, Massey fucking Oka,
Yay!
Yatta! Greg Chun, Neo Kaplan, and Michael Sinterniklas.
Another anime voice veteran.
Okay. And oh god, I can't wait to go in this one. This one is pretty cool. It takes a little while to get going, but I still think it's better paced. Basically, long after Jedi Rocks was extinct, this guy named Juro / Margrave, they keep on alternating between the names, I don't get it, is like on this asteroid thing, and he invites a bunch of Jedi there, or people who want to be Jedi at least, say, hey, I'm got like lightsabers. You want lightsabers? I got them. Come down to Margrave Juro's lightsaber bargain basement. And because no one has lightsabers these days. And then a Jedi arrives a whole bunch of Jedi arrives. There's like 7 of them, one of which is named Ethan.
If we can have a Luke, we can have an Ethan.
I suppose. It's just kind of weird. He's voiced by Masaoka. And they're just like, hey, what's going on here? And they're greeted by a giant fucking droid who's just like, hey, I've got proof that there's lightsabers. Look, here's a lightsaber. Ooh, it actually works. Cool. Where are the other lightsabers? They're coming. Turns out the lightsabers are being made by the blacksmith Jima, voiced by Simu Liu, who's making all these different lightsabers, and including one for his young daughter Kara, voiced I keep on nearly calling her Brooke Susu, but it's not. She's Kimiko Glenn. Sorry, I liked her character in Orange is the New Black. Eventually, kind of annoying at first. And it's what's interesting about this one, and here's the thing. These are all non-canon. I suspect they're also non-canon for each other because there's an interesting twist in this, in that each lightsaber you hold, the crystal sort of alters based upon the Jedi that wields it. So Kara, Shima's daughter, is not very strong in the Force right now, so the lightsaber is sort of transparent and colorless, which is really cool. But when a different Jedi gets it, the lightsaber turns to a specific length and also a specific color, which I really like, because that would explain why every single Sith has a fucking red lightsaber.
It's just a trait. They get free red lightsabers when they join the Sith.
Yeah, but they're all about individuality, so you'd think they'd want different colors. But what if they just didn't have the option? Like, the darkness inside them corrupts them and forces them to have red lightsabers, like, even if they swap them out. How cool would it have been in episode 3 if when Anakin finally turned to the dark side and started cutting down Jedi, his lightsaber slowly turned from blue to red?
That would have been awesome.
Yeah. But then a whole bunch of bounty hunters working for the Sith arrive on the planet and get the dad while Kara escapes with the lightsabers. There's a whole chase scene going on. It's really cool. She eventually gets up to the temple via a ship with a really old droid that has a pipe.
Okay.
I don't get it.
What's he smoking?
The animation in this one reminds me of one of the short films from the Animatrix, actually. We mentioned that earlier. Like some of the designs of certain things. I don't know, maybe it's just a coincidence.
Maybe.
But she gets up to the table and she finds all the Jedi's like, hey, lightsabers, here you go. All your Jedi have lightsabers. What the fuck?
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
They're all Sith, apart from Ethan. Even there's like the one Jedi that showed up and the rest of them turn out to be Sith. And it's a really cool reveal, in fairness, because none of them have been acting Sith-like.
No.
And it's pretty interesting. So Kara and Ethan all to fight them off, but it turns out inside the droid was Juro.
Okay.
I guess. Turns out this is a whole trap for the Sith, because he knew that he'd send the message out to a bunch of Jedi, but the Jedi had been killed by the Sith who took their place. How he knew that, I don't know. These are short films, we've only got so much time. And they all fight them, eventually cutting them down, except for one who turns out to have been a Jedi all along, but he got slowly corrupted by the dark side just by being near the other ones. Okay. I don't know. This thing, see, we say we don't have to explain it because it's a short film, but part of that means you can't really throw in these twists that's sort of dependent on us understanding the motivation of these characters in order to fully get it. Because otherwise we're gonna wonder why. And this is the bad ambiguity that I'm talking about. I can't say ambiguity today. I can say ambiguous, but I can't say ambiguity.
Ambiguity.
What? Sorry?
Your words are very ambiguous.
Indeed. And so they basically become new Jedi, Kara, Ethan, and Juro, and they set on a quest to find Jima, who's still been held by the fucking bounty hunters. That's something I would like to see a continuation of. Yeah, not fucking Ronin.
Yeah, this one and I think it's the one with the rabbit girl. They kind of feel like the ones you want to see more of.
But those are the only ones that are really left open-ended.
Mm-hmm.
As in, like, they could continue. But more of the same. This brings us to the next one, TOB1, or Toby, or as I actually want to call it, Astro Boy. Astro Boy, so fucking obviously Astro Boy. This comes to us from Science Saru, and the actors are, there's very few ones, and I was kind of surprised by one of these. So the Japanese voice actors are
Masako Nozawa and Tsutomi Isobe.
And we also see a return of Jaden Waldman and Kyle Chandler.
Okay. You got kind of Godzilla.
Friday Night Lights is a Jedi now. Yeah. And so it's about this droid named Toby, TOB1, but Toby, who's been created by his Jedi professor creator Professor Mitaka, who's got no arms, by the way. And their goal on the planet is like, all the Jedi are dead, but they're just like, you know what, we're just going to live in peace and we're going to try and terraform this planet and bring life to it. Don't know how the professor is able to survive, but, that's probably why he relies on droids. And Toby is basically like a kid droid. I don't know why he was programmed like that. And, but he wants to like, he pretends to be a lightsaber, but he's told, never go in the basement. Ooh, I wonder who's in the basement. And he's just like, I want to be a Jedi one day. Mikata's just like, well, in order to be a Jedi, you need a lightsaber, which is bullshit. No, I maintain that you do not need a lightsaber in order to be a Jedi. Jedi's not defined by his weapon, he's defined by his connection to the Force and his desire for balance and harmony in all things. It's not about fucking having a glow stick sword. I mean, it's cool. I fucking love lightsabers, but that's not what being a Jedi means. Plenty of Jedi didn't carry lightsabers.
In order to be a Jedi, you must get your discount bug zapper. That is all.
Oh god! And so he's told like you need a kyber crystal in order to forge a lightsaber. I mean, you need a whole bunch of other shit as well. But yeah, kyber crystal, the incredibly rare kyber crystals. So Toby goes on the planet to try and find kyber crystals, doesn't find anything. He ends up going inside the basement. He was told not to, and he discovers a fucking T-31 Skyhopper.
Whoa!
Like Luke's all, I was about to say a model. It's not a model. It's a toy. I got a toy of that, and it's fucking awesome. And he's just like, oh, cool. And he's just like playing the ship. Is like, this is Toby calling all Jedi. It's just like, well, that's not going to end well.
Nope, not at all.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
And then a fucking Sith Inquisitor shows up, and Mikata says, like, okay, Toby, I'm actually a Jedi. I'm going to hide you behind this wall, Cask of Amontillado style, and, just in the Force and all that shit. Here's my lightsaber. And then Toby eventually leaves the high spot and discovers that the Inquisitor has killed Mikata. Oh, no!
Oh, the complete and indescribable anguish! Oh, the complete and indescribable anguish! Oh, the complete and indescribable anguish! Oh, the complete and
So I may have pressed the wrong button.
4
I don't know
times?
why they kept on repeating.
It's so terrible.
Just imagine just Toby just saying that on a loop in front of the Inquisitor, and the Inquisitor's like, I think he's faulty. he's clearly racked with grief. And so yeah, but then Toby's just like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to continue the professor's research and terraform this planet. And it's really sweet, working with all these little droid helper minion things to, bring life back to the planet. But then the Inquisitor turns back up and he's just like, oh, so you're a droid, but you think you're a Jedi? Droids can't be Jedi. A lot more of them are becoming Jedi. Have you seen the trailer for this new Star Wars Hunters game?
I have not.
It's like a fucking Fortnite Battle Royale Star Wars game. It's going to be shit. But one of the light side combatants is a droid Jedi. So that'll be interesting.
Is it this one or is it a different one?
What's that?
Is it this one or is it a different droid Jedi?
No, different droid Jedi.
Oh.
And so Toby gets Mikata's lightsaber, the professor's lightsaber, powers it up by the kyber crystal, and has a big old fight with him going like, you fool, this isn't even my final form, and fucking go-trons with a bunch of the other droids to be an even more powerful version of himself.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty cool fight scene. He kills the Inquisitor, departs the planet on the Skyhopper, which I don't think was space-worthy. Oh, non-canon, who cares? And to explore the galaxy, bring life to new planets, and uphold the Professor's legacy. It's a really sweet, fun episode.
Yeah, you can kind of tell it's a big homage to both Astro Boy, but also Mega Man, because the Doctor looks exactly like Dr. Light. And I just realized that the voice actress who voices Toby. I looked her up. She's 84 years old, and she's been voicing anime characters since the 1960s. And guess what her first anime was?
I'm gonna guess Dragon Ball.
No, well, she was in Dragon Ball. She's been in Dragon Ball, every incarnation. She was also the voice of Doraemon, and her first role was an Astro Boy. So how's this? How's that for a fantastic legacy?
That is really, really cool. I wouldn't have known that.
That's great.
And it's really great. Then we get the next episode, The Elder. Japanese voice cast includes
Takaya Hashi, Kenichi Ogata, and Yuichi Nakamura.
And the English cast includes David Harbour, Jordan Fisher, and James Hong.
Yes! Dao Long Wong!
Yes! Oh, God, he's...
Who better else could they get?
I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. Ah, God. So, yeah, The Elder. This starts really slow, and then it turns into another sort of dual story. But what sells it for me, I think, more than The Village Bride did, was because the characters seemed kind of cool. Well, one character seems kind of cool. James Hong character seems kind of cool. And, you know, it's very much, unlike something like The Ronin, it very much focuses on the master-pupil relationship that can exist between Jedi. And so, it's not spectacular, but I think it's decent enough that I say don't skip it.
I do like some of the elements regarding the ex-Sith Lord, if you want to call him that, the weird, creepy old guy with yellow eyes. Is that he kind of did he abandon the Sith, or did he kind of like kill them all because they were all too busy trying to backstab each other?
Well, it's left purposely ambiguous, so you can draw your own conclusions. Let's just talk about the story. So, sometime before the Phantom Menace, this Jedi Tajin, played by David Harbour, and his Padawan Dan,
Dan,
the big Jedi man. I'm exploring the Outer Rim, and Dan is just like, I want action! I want adventure! Now this is pod racing! And his master's just like, yeah, don't. Let's not do that. But I want adventure. Shut up, Dan. And they land on this planet in the Outer Rim. There's a lot of talking in this episode. A lot more dialogue than there would be in other things. And they arrive at a remote village, and they learn that there's a mysterious old man who's like to the mountaintop. And Jedi Knight guy is all like, I sense a disturbance in the Force. And the apprentice is like, let's split up.
No.
Sure. But yeah, you know what? Great. Let's split up, Dan. That's really going to work out well for you.
He gonna get it!
And so they hike up. Tajin finds the man's spaceship, and then Dan finds the Elder, voiced by James Hong, who's having the time of his life.
Oh my God, he's so goddamn cool!
And Dan is very eager to fight him, which is fine with the Elder, because the Elder, as he's known, is also just as eager to fight him, because, I don't know, he's a Sith and that's what they do. And as you mentioned, he talks about how, like, I'm not part of the Sith, because, you know, like I said, they were all backstabbers, which is the thing with the Sith. This is why the Sith sort of fell apart, because they backstabbed each other so much, they all got taken out in one fell swoop. So Darth Bane was just like, I know what we'll do. We'll start a long line of just two people backstabbing each other. This is the thing I want most in Star Wars. I want variety in Sith, because the Sith are, in my opinion, not inherently evil. Hear me out.
Okay.
They're not inherently evil. They're just more likely to become evil, because they're all about individuality, using power for power's sake, and fulfilling their own personal goals rather than using the power to help other people. This is not inherently evil. It's not great. It's not altruistic, but it's not evil. And there have been like one or two small examples of some. Like there was one Sith rather, in the old canon, Legends canon, who was a Sith who just like settled down and had a family. Like he just did that. And I kind of want to see more stuff like that because. And I want to see. I don't like the idea of once you turn to the dark side, you instantly become evil, like cartoony evil. It's like I was a fully fledged person with a variable moral code and complete full personality and thoughts and desires and hopes and dreams, and now I'm evil. I'm a Clapton Planet villain. I don't like that.
No,
and because like the dark side, it's not mind control. It's just like tempting you to the worst parts of yourself. But everyone has different worst parts of themselves, But anyway, Elder and Dan fight. Elder fucking kicks Dan's ass. I thought he was gonna fucking bisect him at one point. I thought we were gonna go the full Darth Maul.
Yeah.
But instead he just, I guess, gently wounds Dan.
Oh no! This is much worse.
And so Tajin just sort of comes back and it's like, okay, Elder, let's fucking fight ourselves this time because it's raining and it looks cool. And managed to get rid of one of his lightsabers, ends up killing him. And then we get something I've never seen in Star Wars before, a Sith fading into the Force, Yoda style. Except he doesn't fade into the Force. He fucking decomposes and crumbles to dust.
I liked that. I thought it was really cool.
That was really cool. Because, he's really strong in the Force. But, if Yoda gets to fade away, why can't he? It's like the difference between, like, the Mystics and the Skeksis in Dark Crystal. Because remember, like, when the Emperor fucking died in the beginning of that movie?
Yeah, the other guy just kind of poops out of existence.
He glitters into oblivion. And he, before he dies, though, the Elder blows up a ship. I don't really know why. Doesn't really happen.
No secrets allowed,
I guess. And they fucking leave the village, and that's the whole story. Honestly, they could have just put it down. They could have just cut it down solely to the fight, like the Ronin did. That'd be fine. But then it'd be like the Ronin. But in which case, then, why don't they just focus on the whole him teaching Dan thing? Because they're separated for half the story. So, yeah, it's fine, but it's not as good as it could be. Honestly, James Hong saves the day for me. This brings us to the next one, the penultimate film, Lop and Ocho.
I liked it.
Sorry?
I liked it.
No, I liked it too. I thought it was all right. Who are the voice actors for this one?
Please note that if there are any Japanese people watching, I do apologize if I butcher any of your language. So, we have Seiron Kobayashi, Risa Shimizu, Tadahisa Fujimura, and Taisuke Nakano. And
in the English voice actors, we have Anna Cathcart, Hiromi Dames, I don't know, Paul Nakauchi, and Carl McCarley. I'm not familiar with any of these actors. Obviously, they've been in tons of things. Wait. Okay, so apparently one of these people, Anna Cathcart, was in To All the Boys I've Loved Before, which I've not seen.
Neither have I.
Don't care. But I'm given to understand it's vaguely popular. Anyway, so Lop and Ochi is about Lop and Ochi. Lop is a rabbit person. At least she's not green. Let me put it that way.
They promise if you see
some people aren't gonna get that reference.
Yeah, the other thing is because I only found out about that character a little while ago, and I know a Green Rabbit character called Bucky O'Hare. So it's like, okay, is this related?
Was Bucky O'Hare green? I don't care.
Bucky O'Hare was a green badass rabbit who killed frogs, toads. It's basically a stormtrooper. It's basically it was this, but with Star Wars meets Zootopia in space.
Okay. Well, in this story, Lop is a rabbit alien person who's on this planet named Tau. And she's like scavenging because the Empire has come by and this is like, we're going to bring industry. Ooh, I think I don't know for certain, but I think this might be analogous to the because I've been reading up on this recently. The rapid progression and industrialization brought on by the West to Japan in the 1800s, which led to huge societal change. I think that seems to be a big influencer from my amateur perspective.
Yes,
And
a
lot of people aren't very happy that all this industry has been brought to town because it's desecrating their natural beauty. And this person, Lop, is discovered by a crime lord politician. They say like he's a clan leader, and they don't really go into details about that, so who knows. This guy named Yasaburo and his daughter Ocho, who I guess just really, really fucking likes Lop at first, because she's like, hello, random alien girl, you are now my sister. Hugs!
Oh, dear.
Oh god, and Lop does not say a word to anyone about all of this. Eventually she's like becomes part of the family. But at first she's just like so overwhelmed by it all. She doesn't say anything. She's just like and it made me wonder, like, does she actually want to be in a family with them? But anyway. But the dad's like, okay, we can't just like fucking adopt this person. But then the daughter's like, yeah, we can. And the dad's like, okay, I guess we have to. And then they do. 7 years later, the Empire is occupying the planet, exploiting all the natural resources. Yasaburo wants to drive the Empire off, and Ocho does not want to do that. She's just like, no, Dad, we can't do that because they're bringing progress. I'm just sitting here thinking, like, okay, yeah. The metaphor is becoming a bit more obvious now. Because it doesn't say what the progress means, or what the progress actually is. So it's just progress for progress's sake. And he's just like, destroying natural resources, and you're like, things? Not even things. Ambiguous things. So many ambiguous things. And they're having a big old fight about it. And Ocho basically defects to the Empire thanks to this greasy, skinny, emo officer guy.
Yeah, okay, that was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was weird. And she's like, okay, sure, I'm immediately abandon my family. And you know, I've got like blue makeup at the sides of my eyes. I'm going to bite my thumb and smear it over with blood, because that's a normal thing to do.
Is that how you join Is that how you join the Empire?
I've initiated myself into the Empire. Oh my god, we were just going to get you to sign some forms and like take a day off for like training and induction and get you like your lanyard. We didn't want to make you bite your own thumb. Jesus. God, we need to work on recruitment drives or something. God. Anyway. And Lop is not happy about this. She runs away. And then Yasaburo tells her, like, I'm sorry I didn't treat you properly like a daughter. Except we never saw him not treating her like a daughter. If anything, he's been lovely to her. But it's like, years and years ago, this Jedi came to our planet and gave us a lightsaber. And we've handed it down ever since. And apparently you're now a Jedi for some reason. Not canon, who cares? And he hands the lightsaber and he goes off to confront Ocho, who fucking using a laser nunchuck staff thing blinds him in his other eye, and he was already blind in one eye, so sucks for him. And Lop has to fight her, and she's like, I know my sister is in there somewhere, and then fucking carves her chest wide open.
Wow.
I don't think she meant literally Lop.
And Ocho gets really pissed when she whips out the lightsaber.
Yeah.
It must be mine. I am the successor.
You're not really my sister. It's a whole thing. And then there's carves like a big X in her chest, which doesn't kill her. And then she goes like Back to the Future Part 2 on her ass by falling off a thing and then rising on a transport thing and then flies off. And Lop's like, I'm gonna save my sister again, I guess. I guess I'll team up with Neil Patrick Harris or something. I don't know. And that's how it ends. And admittedly, I didn't really want to see how this one turns out, at least for the characters. I kind of want to know what happened to the planet, because the art style on this one was done by Geno Studio, and it's really, really cool. I really like the backgrounds and the detail and the clash of industry and like the greys and browns and the lush like pinks and greens of the nature. And I thought that was really cool. I want to see what happened to the planet Tau.
I agree. It was quite unique, wasn't it? They've kind of sprinkled a very sense of Japanese culture in each of the films, haven't they?
Yeah, and there's no reason why they can't. Because like if we can have Western-inspired Star Wars, sci-fi in Star Wars, then we can have Eastern-inspired, and I think that's cool. And then this brings us to the next episode. Because honestly, do we have anything more to say about Lopinocho?
Not really.
Not really.
Nice animation.
Yeah, it did have nice animation. And then we got Akakiri. Voice actors for this are...
okay, this is interesting. Yu Miyazaki, someone called Lin, someone called Cho, Wataru Takagi, and Yukari Nozawa.
And for the English cast, we have Henry Golding, ooh, Jamie Chung, ooh, motherfucking George Takei!
Oh my god, he's so goddamn cool!
And also Keona Young and Lorraine Toussaint.
Shadow Weaver!
Yes! This is a fucking excellent cast for this one. And, I mean, Henry Golding, I'm not really big on him as an actor, but he's done a few voice things recently, and he's been pretty good at them. Certainly much better than he was at playing Snake Eyes. Oh!
Which I have not seen.
I don't think anyone saw it. I don't think anyone cared. And then, so, basically there's this Jedi guy named Tsubaki, played by Henry Golding, who's been having a bunch of Force visions. Oh dear. But then he comes to this planet because he's been summoned by a friend of his, Misa, a princess who's been overthrown by her aunt, Masago, who turns out to be a Sith. Oh no. And they have to travel across the landscape to, go to the palace and fight her. And they've got these two guys, Senshu, played by George Takei, and Kamahachi, played by Keona Young. And they make their way to the royal palace. There's a lot of bantering and back and forth between all of them. What art style would say this is? Because I'm getting real like Afro samurai vibes.
I suppose.
Maybe like Samurai Champloo. I don't know.
Potentially.
They're making their way there, and they eventually get to the palace. And we're skipping over bits, but honestly, because there's not much to talk about, just watch it. Like the pacing is really good, the visuals are good, the action is good. Just take our word for it. And George Takei is having the time of his life. Side note, this means George Takei is now officially in Star Wars and Star Trek. Now he's only got to be in Stargate and StarCraft before he gets his Star Medal.
Haha.
And so Masago turns up, captures all of them, and she's just like, hey, you should join me as my apprentice. And Tsubaki's like, no. And then she sort of like does this weird wibbly force thing and sends a bunch of henchmen after him. And he sort of gives into the dark side a little bit and kills them, including Misa. Oh no, she was wearing a helmet. You fool, you fell for the classic fake guard trick. Fooled you. And he's like, no, not Misa. I don't really understand the relationship, but no, not Misa. And Masago was just like, hey, we could bring her back. She doesn't have to be dead. How? With the dark side of the Force. Pretty sure the dark side of the Force could literally bring someone back from the dead, but they do heal her. Oh, fucking hell. It's the end of Rise of Skywalker, isn't it?
Oh, no.
Jesus. So he joins the dark side and brings Misa back to life, and then agrees to join Masago and goes away with her. This is what I'm talking about with the fucking dark side. I don't like it when it completely changes the personality. Like, why would he suddenly join Masago? He just got everything he wanted. His friend back to life. Misa back to life. So, why would I fucking join you? Like, oh my god, I have to save her. We can save her if you join the dark side. Okay, I'll join the dark side. There, we brought her back. Cool. Now I'm gonna fucking attack you because I'm on the dark side. I've got no restraint now, and I've gotten everything I wanted. So why would I join you? Maybe it's a short film, so maybe I shouldn't be ascribing too much logic to it, but it was kind of an annoying end to Visions for me.
Mm.
And that is how it ends. I mean, it's a good short film. Don't get me wrong. The writing is great. The characters are great. The voice acting is great. The visuals are stunning. But it wasn't quite how I wanted to end. But it did. And overall, I'm really happy.
I when they first announced it, I was like, oh, goody, Star Wars anime at last. But then you kind of, take a step back. It's like, okay, is it going to be good? Yes, it is.
And we will talk about just how good it is in a moment. Before we do that, here are some ads. And we're back. So, final thoughts. I mean, this show has everything you could possibly want. I mean, it doesn't fill all of my stupid, fanboy, nitpicky wish list for requirements, but it doesn't have to. It is creative and intelligent and does have a variety of stories to tell.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I like about it, aside from animation, voice acting, fighting, music, the art style, just about everything, is that it doesn't do it as much, but it explores different types of stories beyond the good Jedi, Sith, Force, hooray, have at it type of stories. And I think they probably won't, if they did do more or a continuation of new stories, there is endless potential with this.
God, yes. I would also like to see them maybe, let's Star Wars Visions. It's not Star Wars Anime, it's Star Wars Visions. So here's what I think. What if they went to other animation studios outside of the US that wasn't Japan? Like, and I know, like, these are the two great big blocks of animation, Japan and America, and I guess China. But I would like to see them maybe take, or at least get animators from other cultures and other places and other countries to create Star Wars inspired stories based on their own unique folklore, like, say, various African cultures and Star Wars melded together. I guess maybe even European ones, yes. Australia and Oceania and Indonesia and all those sorts of places, their unique cultures, things like that. I would like to see different, even more variations on South American, anything. So there's all sorts of different variations on the Star Wars myths through the lens of different cultures. I think this could be really fascinating.
Probably won't, though.
Probably won't, no, you're right. But, I mean, this has been really, really well received. It currently has 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. Does that make it probably the best received Star Wars things, with the possible exception of The Mandalorian?
Potentially,
recent
yeah.
years?
Yeah. I'm tempted to show it to my parents, but they're a bit stingy when it comes to anime.
At least I like anime to begin with. I'm not even sure my parents would try at all to watch this. But no, this is something that I think should be watched. And the best thing about it is, you know what? Because it's an anthology, if one doesn't really work quite well to your taste, there's always a new one that has a completely different story that you might like even better. And I have my favorites. Oh, which is your favorite episode? Let's be honest.
Oh, that's a hard one. I probably have to say, in terms of just utter fun, probably the twins. Best storytelling, either the Duel or the Ninth Jedi.
Yeah, in terms of storytelling, in terms of visual storytelling, the Duel. In terms of characters that I like to see go on a journey and have a story, it's got to be Tatooine Rhapsody for me.
Yeah, that was quite good.
I mean, the Ninth Jedi kind of meandered a little bit for me. I wanted a bit more focus either on one group of characters or another group of characters. But it turned out great for me in the end, and I would like to see that continued. And we will see a continuation with Star Wars Visions Ronin. Is that actually out yet? No, it's set to release on October 12th, 2021. I may check it out. I don't know. How would you take a prose novel from a very minimalistic, visual storytelling based short film? This is the
I
question.
don't know.
Maybe it'll be good, maybe it won't be. Who knows? But I'm really happy, and I hope that Star Wars continues this trend. Well, I say trend, but continues this idea of telling creative, out of the box storytelling. Because this is what it should be like from now on. I mean, I say not like from now on. It doesn't all have to be Star Wars visions. But if we take that inspiration, that creative spark, that's like, hey, let's take these centuries old concepts and we work it into a cool, fun, new sci-fi thing, which is the original ethos of Star Wars, we'll have some really good stories. Do you think?
Very profound. There's endless potential of this franchise.
Yeah. And maybe, just maybe, one day we'll finally have fucking Jar Wars side story.
Yeah.
And on that note, I think we're going to end the show. Thank you very much, Mark, for joining me today.
Pleasure always is.
I wondered when you were going to do that. And if you enjoy the show, Capers, please tell your friends, shout it from the rooftops. And if you haven't already, go back into some of the other super episodes, like all the other Star Wars shit we've done before. You can listen to the show on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, or at podcapers.com. If you want to get in touch with us, suggest show topics, or maybe come on the show yourself, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at AP2HYC. Thank you very much to Dan Harris for our logo, the lovely microphone, the Red Booth 3D glasses. Those are mine. And thank you for listening. This has been Pod Capers, the official podcast of a place to hang your cape. Cue the music!